This year's session at the Minnesota Legislature begins on Monday, February 12th. The Minnesota DFL is still in control of the House, Senate, and the governor's office. Last session, that trifecta pushed through a momentous number of initiatives. Will that momentum continue? One Brooklyn Park senator believes that pace will continue. In today's Newsmakers, Senator John Hoffman stopped by to talk to Shannon Slatton about what he's hoping to work on this session.
Do you know it's a bonding year, right? It's always the second year of a biennium, it's a bonding year. And so hopefully we're going to have a bonding package. And there's about $837 million, I believe, that was estimated that we could bond, because Minnesota's bond rating is super high. And you're basically borrowing money at nothing, right, to pay for infrastructure projects. At home in Brooklyn Park, we look at a couple of things. Number one, our fire station is in deeply need to be redone.
Sure.
And so I talked to Senator Susan Pa, who from Brooklyn Park. She's going to be chief author of that. I'll be a co-author of that. Zanewood Community Center, we need to do some things there with that. And then I'm going to chief author a Three Rivers Park project. Remember the work we did down by the dam?
Sure.
And making that accessible and barrier-free and community. Now we want to make that access all the way along the Mississippi River Drive, which is the Great River Road, right?
Yeah, it'll be a nice park.
It'll be absolutely a nice park, and it'll connect Champlin, it'll connect everything all the way down that 72-mile stretch. And so we're hoping to get that in the bonding bill this year as well.
All right, there's a lot of projects. Why do you think those will rise to the top?
Well, because it's become the two of us that represent Brooklyn Park have made it very clear that these are the three priorities that we're looking at when it comes to those bonding pieces. And so that's why I hope it'll rise to the top, because you know what? That's a good ask.
Yeah. Anything else that you're going to champion or work on this time around?
Yeah, we need to do some work in the Human Services. I'm chair of Human Services, and Senator or Representative Newer and I talked about there's still some gaps. When they did group home changes from group home living with services to 144G, which is assisted living, there's some gaps that we need to fix in there, specifically some protection gaps, some reimbursement rate gaps, and how that is regulated and looked at. Because again, if you don't have a robust group home system set up, which in this case, a lot of elderly people, right, when they don't have the ability to go into a nursing home, when they need to go to a nursing home, they want to stay in the community, but they need some supports. Those made sense to a lot of people, and it's really enhancing and supporting them so that they do make sense.
Do you think this session is going to be as fast as furious as the last one was?
Oh my God, yeah, it's already started. It hasn't even dropped, and it's already started. But we have now 43 days, right? If you really look at the calendar, it's not, 120 days. You look at it, it's really 43 days to get a bonding project done, to do things that we need to do in order to move on to next year, which is, of course, the first year is always a budget year. And last year we passed a robust budget for the state of Minnesota that there's a lot of things we'll be looking at, still to this day. People, 5 years from now, you're going to look at a law and go, where did that come from? Oh yeah, 2023. It was like drinking water from a fire hose.
I bet.
It was really amazingly fast.
Well, we'll see what happens this time around. Senator John Hoffman of Brooklyn Park, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, good to see you.
In Golden Valley, a celebration of Black History Month during last week's City Council meeting. Mary Harris, a singer and friend of Mayor Rosalind Harmons, kicked off the meeting with the Black National Anthem.
Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Thank you.
Mayor Harmon acknowledged herself, Police Chief Virgil Green, and Assistant Chief Alice White for their historic leadership roles within the city. She also recognized Rudy Perez as the first Latino Assistant Chief. Harmon also shared some history. In the 1980s, Golden Valley was the first city to start Black History Month programming. A teacher from Champlin Park High School is up for a major award this spring, but as Delane Cleveland explains, it has nothing to do with her work in the classroom.
So we've got this idea.
Earning college credit while you're in high school is no easy task.
True, but we need a theme.
But these Champlin Park seniors are part of this International Baccalaureate English class to do just that.
Write thesis statement.
Nicole Kronzer is the veteran teacher who's helping to make it happen.
If they do well in those exams, then they can get college credit. But regardless of whether or not they get college credit, the skills that we're developing all along in both years of IB, 11 and 12, really prepare students for college.
You're going to draw 2 to 4 symbols.
In today's class, the students are learning advanced literary themes,
And so you could talk about how the test head,
which is fitting considering that Kronzer happens to have some firsthand experience with the literary world.
and a lot of times kids will be like, wait a minute, I was in the library and there's a book with your name on it. I'm like, yes, that's because I wrote that book. And they were like, why are you teaching here?
Kronzer only spends half the day teaching here at Champlin Park. When she's not in class,
Symbols. I love it. That works.
she's busy writing novels.
My first book came out in April of 2020. That was during the pandemic, and that was bananas. But the second book came out just last January, and so it was so fun to, show the cover to my students.
That second book, The Roof Over Our Heads, is now up for a prestigious honor. It's one of 4 novels to be nominated in the Young Adult Literature category for this year's Minnesota Book Awards.
The fact that it's a finalist is an enormous deal, and I'm just so honored because there's so much talent in this state.
So when we're talking about point of view,
A talented author who also has a passion for teaching.
you describe specific moments.
And Kronzer is using her talents to help prepare her students for the next stage of their lives.
I'm just trying to help students develop the skills that they need when they leave here, and also just to find their bliss, right? Like to find joy.
At Champlin Park, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Kronzer will find out if she wins a Minnesota Book Award during a live ceremony on May 7th at the Ordway Center for the Performing Arts in St. Paul.